Welcome to the Silver Screen Project, where we look back at a series of films in anticipation of an exciting new cinema release.
In anticipation of the third Fantastic Beast film, we have gone and watched Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them from 2016. What did you think of this film, Sam?
I didn't like it as much as I remembered liking it.
Exact same as me. I remember going to the cinema to see it, coming out and being like, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not very good, actually.
No, I mean, there's some stuff overall that I liked.
Yeah.
Like things like it's nice to see like the adult side of the wizarding world.
Yeah.
People doing their magical jobs. We see stuff with auras and stuff a little bit in the later Harry Potter films.
Yeah.
But that side of things is an interesting aspect of this.
Yeah, like you said, like the actual government and adults
Yeah.
jobs, because in Harry Potter films, all adults are either like teachers or work for the Ministry
Or
of
their
Magic.
parents, basically. Yeah. Which is like little hints at it, but it's not that. As well as that, it's the American side of it that we get to see.
Yeah,
Which is interesting, but
yeah, there's aspects of it which like
yeah.
mirroring the Muggle world or the
Yeah.
Nomad world of
Yeah.
oh, there's certain aspects that America are a bit backwards on, like the whole you can't marry a Muggle, which
Yeah.
it kind of mirrors
kind of like a
certain
civil rights kind of thing. Yeah.
And I think it plays a lot into almost an X-Men type angle of like,
Right, yeah. I
we're
hadn't
more
thought about
powerful
that.
than them, so we need to hide ourselves to stop them attacking
Yeah,
us.
interesting. Yeah.
But
Hadn't
it's
really
not
thought
as
about it like that.
interesting as that.
Not at all, no. And there's questions raised, especially kind of in the latter kind of section of this. It's like, why should we have to do this? And it's all tied into the whole Grindelwald thing, which we don't really see much of in this.
Yeah, but Grindelwald's essentially a Magneto type person.
Yeah.
But more like, I'm evil.
Or Wizard Hitler, as some people refer to him.
he should be less Wizard Hitler and more Wizard Magneto.
Yeah, I think it's because of the timings. Because I think, from what I've heard, because the Second World War kind of runs parallel to the Grindelwald War.
Yeah,
and I think they kind of ally a little bit. Is that right? I think
they do imply that it wasn't a coincidence.
Yeah, that the Second
two
World War
wars
happened at the same time.
But there is stuff that I did enjoy. Like I think the beasts are really fun.
Yes,
like
the Fantastic Beasts are pretty fantastic.
Seeing all these different animals we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Particularly the I was going to say Nibbler, but that's Future Armor.
Niffler.
Niffler. That he's fun.
Yeah, there's the weird thing that looks like a little monkey yeti that goes invisible.
Yeah,
very cute.
Lots of
holding hands at one point. Very
lots
cute.
of beasts go invisible in this.
Yes,
that's convenient, isn't it?
And I liked the weird lobster horses that we see at one point.
Yeah,
they look a bit like the Ood, but they're horses.
Yeah,
and then there's like llama things that have big eyes.
Yeah,
there's some interesting designs, and I can't remember how much of this is pulled from the kind of source material, or how much of it. I think a lot of it.
I think all the beasts come from the original Fantastic Beasts book, which was like more of an encyclopedia than a story.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
But as well as the beasts, I feel like there's lots of new magic that we didn't see in the Harry Potter films that I quite enjoyed. There's stuff that we saw in Harry Potter that they do more regularly in this, but there's also, I can't think of any specific little bits that are like, oh yeah, that's a fun magic thing.
Even when I was watching it, like the apparating, like the kind of teleporting is done a lot more in this. They use it to like jump between kind of.
It's just their way of traveling.
Yeah, and it's almost so much. I guess it's because they're adults and it's like they're kind of secret police kind of thing. You know, it's that kind of like they do it to avoid being seen, but it feels much more like a thing in this. Almost like a Nightcrawler teleporting kind of thing.
Yeah, it is kind of like that. But yeah, it's quite fun seeing that stuff. Some of the characters I quite like. I think Queenie is a fun character.
I think she's probably one of the better characters.
And she's also possibly the smartest of the main group because she's kind of portrayed as this kind of like dumb blonde.
Yeah, she's kind of got like a ditzy, kind of Betty Boop kind of 1920s.
There's the scene where she's trying to persuade the guy not to go through her suitcase that everyone else is in.
Yeah.
And her manipulation skills are like really well done.
I mean, it also doesn't help that she has mind reading powers.
Yeah.
Which I couldn't help but think they use mostly for exposition because there's a whole part where she's reading Newt's mind when he doesn't
With
want it to be
Lethal
read. And
Lestrange.
it's like, oh yeah, here's it's actually very similar to the Adam Project that we covered recently.
Natiri.
Here's a picture of someone from another franchise. Here's a picture of Selena Kyle, which is actually not the only the Batman alumni in this film, because Colin Farrell is
Colin
also in
Farrell's
it
also.
quite a bit.
I think Colin Farrell's quite good in this.
I thought he was very boring.
Yeah, I think his character of like infiltrating, and you're not quite sure if he's a good guy with a
Gideon
dark
Graves, I
side
think
or
it is,
actually a
yeah.
bad guy.
Yeah.
Is played quite, and then later on,
Yeah,
I was quite
reveals.
disappointed when it revealed that he is the Johnny Depp, like
I remember
so over the top evil. Just
I remember
like,
it being a massive deal. I watched it in the cinema and everyone was like, "What the hell?" kind of thing. But like in this, it's when you watch it back, it's kind of like, okay. And it's not until the president goes, Mr. Grindelwald, you'll come with me. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, right, that's Grindelwald, because we haven't seen him. We see the back of his head at the start of the film.
But also, we're led to believe that Grindelwald and Dumbledore had this past relationship.
Yeah.
No way is Jude Law falling in love with this like snivelly
This
evil
freak.
guy. Colin Farrell, believable. Like he's kind of like a charismatic, charming guy that's also kind of evil.
Well, I mean, as we find out from the new film, which we haven't seen yet, he also can look like Mads Mikkelsen, so maybe that's a little bit more believable.
Yes. I like Jacob, the human guy.
Yes.
He's good fun.
He is kind of doing like a John Candy impression, really, isn't
and
he?
he's very much like a point of view character for the magic
very
world.
much so, yeah.
I also quite enjoyed that Goblin Ron Perlman looks
Yes.
exactly like Ron Perlman.
I like that. I was like, that's Ron Perlman, right? I looked up, I was like, it's Ron Perlman.
Yeah, I did the exact same. It's like
with Jacob, I like the ending where he makes the baked creatures. I thought that was very cool.
Yes,
it's the classic, like, oh, maybe I do remember kind of thing.
Right, so that bit that doesn't make any sense.
Oh no, the whole last bit is
like
what?
so it rains and people forget.
Do New York showers direct to
so we see a guy
to the rain?
And also, like when I watched this, I was watching with Christina.
Yeah.
When it rains, people are more reluctant to go outside.
Yeah.
There's lots of people who would have stayed inside, not got in the shower,
But it shows,
and not been affected at all.
It shows like a woman drinking from the tap, and I think the implication is that it's in the water system. But then it goes back, and they're still in the subway that they were in the finale. So this has all happened in a matter of seconds, if not minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And the fact that Jacob then kind of remembers
because of love. That's why.
Yeah, it doesn't make.
And
any
also,
sense.
I think the point maybe is that they're using like the creeping night venom or whatever.
Yeah,
creeping death or something like that, and it's not the obliviate spell that is more tried and tried and tested kind of thing.
Another thing that I thought silly was that like everyone knows everyone.
Yeah, it's
like,
very that kind of thing.
And like, so Newt Scamander was taught by Dumbledore, who's got a relationship with Grindelwald, who's actually coincidentally the villain, and it's like, everyone's friends with everyone. Like this, it makes it such a small world.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Newt Scamander, we haven't really mentioned him much. I mean, I don't really like Eddie Redmayne. I do think this is probably one of his more charming characters.
I feel like he suits the character quite well, and I read that when they were making it, they didn't consider anyone else. He didn't even have to audition for it. They just offered him the role.
Yeah. I do feel like, especially in the first kind of part, I feel like he's doing something, and it feels like he's doing like a stereotypical like autistic kind of.
It's a very like Benedict Cumberbatch type performance.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like there's a especially in media, there's a lot of stereotype of someone who's autistic and they get on with animals but not humans.
Yeah.
And he's very much playing that kind of thing. He's even doing the tilted head, not eye contact thing.
Yeah.
And part of that feels a little bit gross to me, but I do
like
think
the fetishization of autism.
Yeah, and it's almost like we mentioned recently on the podcast about the Predator, where they do this whole autism is a superpower thing, and it's like you're picking parts of someone and making it into this thing which it's not.
I feel
really.
like one of my biggest problems with Newt Scamander is as the main character in the film, he didn't actually really need to be in the film.
No, and it's one of those things. I know he's collecting these creatures because he's like a conservationist effectively, but why does he have all these dangerous creatures in a city? Like, and one of them can open the case from the inside.
Yeah, so
it's very silly.
He is extremely irresponsible throughout this film, and like he's just going around doing magic in front of muggles and not really giving a shit.
No mages,
and like of course you're gonna end up getting arrested for this. Like you're generally putting this world in danger, but I think with the whole he doesn't need to be in it, it's a big problem with this, and we'll get into it more in the next film, is that
Yeah.
this film is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find
Yeah.
Them, when actually it's the first part of the
The
Grindelwald
Grindelwald
War.
War. Yeah,
So
yeah.
pick one or the other. If they'd gone full into, hey, look at all these magical beasts, and just did a film about that, I
Yeah.
would have loved it.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
they'd
yeah.
just done, here's the first part of a build up to a war, I probably would have liked it more, but it's kind of half and half. I
Yeah.
kind of wish they'd just done a film about all the beasts.
Yeah, and I do think the parts where they have to go on the little quest to go get the beast from Central Park and all this sort of stuff, I like all that stuff. And there's the creature that fills up the space, and they have to get it in the teapot and all that. I like that kind of stuff, but it feels secondary to the plot that's going on
Yeah.
around it.
Exactly. And I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that this was made by David Yates, who I don't think is very good.
Yeah.
So he did the last 4 Harry Potter films,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
are the worst 4 Harry Potter films. Me and Christina watched Order of the Phoenix. We've
Yeah.
watched Order of the Phoenix.
Is that where he starts?
Yeah, that's his
directing?
first
Yeah,
one. And
yeah.
it's noticeably worse. And like the pace in the editing's all over the place.
Right.
He's only done these Fantastic Beasts and The Legend of Tarzan and some
Right.
90s films. So it's all basically Harry Potter. And in this, like, so much of like the exposition in this film is newspapers on screen.
Yes.
Because he doesn't know how to actually show the plot. It's
Or-
just, here's a newspaper.
Or Queenie mind reading and going, is it true that you know Lita Lestrange?
Yeah,
It's like,
and that was one of my biggest problems with the later Harry Potter films, that they didn't quite know how to get to the next points. They just kind of rush through it and
Yeah,
hope you
I
don't
can see that.
notice.
yeah.
And you see it in this as well, and it's just like, oh, for God's sake. We'll get into that more with the next
I'm sure we'll
episode.
hear more. What did you think about Ezra Miller, who I've got here is really typecast as a freak?
God, he really is.
Horrendous haircut. For one thing.
Typecast?
Sorry, Ezra Miller is a freak. I've written
It's
here,
a
sorry,
very
yeah.
strange performance.
Again, it's doing these kind of weird ticks and
yeah, when I imagine him, it's like his chin's sewn to his
yeah,
shoulder.
and there's the part where we reveal. So first of all, the whole thing with the Obscurus is fine. That's an interesting kind
I
of
think
thing.
when I first watched it, I quite liked the reveal
Yeah.
that it was him, not the
But I
young
feel like
girl.
watching it now, it's like it's so obvious it's
It
not this
is.
girl that we just keep seeing.
Grindelwald
And then there's
should
the
have known.
reveal. Yeah, he's fucking dumb. There's the reveal, and he's standing there, like you say. He's got his head hunched down. He's like, "I'm evil."
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I mean, the
I did-
effects
I
are kind
did
of cool
like-
with the Obscurus, but
Yeah.
it is again, it's in the era of smoke that just smashes through stuff. And at this point, you get like Wonder Woman, you get like Batman v Superman. All these Warner Brothers films seem to have no idea what to do in their last act, so they go
Yeah.
add smoke, add fire, explode,
Yeah.
put into the CGI
And then
machine.
they only think about the consequences of these actions at the end, and they quickly, we can just magically make it so everyone's
it's
forgotten
good,
a
it's
New
good
York
that they've
fix.
got a way of doing that.
And it's like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
very convenient. Yeah, I thought Ezra Miller's performance was quite strange.
It
and
feels very much like he is going to be in the rest of the films, and he is in the second one. I imagine he's in the third one as
is he in the
well.
second one? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
he kind of carries on through, and I think he gets a wand at the end of the second one, and
Right.
he's like,
Well,
he's really powerful.
We'll
kind of
find
thing.
out when we watch it. I quite like Catherine Waterstone in this.
Again, I just think I thought she would. I like her in other stuff. I just think they gave her much to do.
Yeah.
But the bit
Yeah.
with the acid pit is funny because it's a pit that you sit on a chair, you see nice memories, and you want to jump into the acid, even though it's very clearly acid.
Yes.
Is that a thing that's not something we've heard of?
I've
is
got
it?
some trivia regarding that.
Okay, well,
particular
now's a
scene.
good time to.
Smoothly transition into trivia.
And what's the name of Fantastic Trivia and where to find them?
Oh, that's actually pretty good. Fantastic trivia and his.
Here's the
no,
trivia.
fantastic trivia and where to find it.
Let's find it.
So the form of execution that Tina was to experience, seated on a chair above a pool of water, was a hint towards the Salem witch trials. But one of the tests, if you were a witch, was that you were
Right.
tied to a chair and thrown in water.
Oh,
And if you floated, you were a witch.
I
If you
mean-
sank, then you were.
I don't think that's true.
I think that's actually meant to be
That's
a
what it
direct
is?
reference.
That's-
Yeah.
I mean, they were the new Salemites or whatever, aren't they? The bad
Yeah.
guys in this. Which
So they
they're
are
not
obviously
really.
aware of Salem.
Yeah, I don't think that is. Yeah, okay.
Whether it's well done or not.
yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
kind of going
Yeah,
along
yeah.
with that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So a scene was filmed with a shirtless Newt Scamander, which showed
Ooh.
off all the scars he'd collected from working with dangerous animals.
Right, okay.
Eddie Redmayne worked out loads
Oh,
for this,
no.
and then it was cut.
Oh, where's the topless Newt cut?
But
That's what we
also,
want.
I feel like
Hashtag release the topless Newt
Newt
cut.
Scamander shouldn't really be ripped. I feel like that'd be
No.
weird. I think it would be cool to see him having scars from like
Yeah,
taming
yeah.
animals.
But we could have that. Maybe he rolls his sleeve up and he's got a big like bite out of
Yeah.
his arm or something.
But yeah, we didn't get to see ripped Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah.
I can't ever really imagine Eddie Redmayne being ripped.
I did like all his I say all his, I do like his outfit and the outfits in general in this.
Yeah.
There's lots of long kind of cool coats and it's very like
I've got opinions on the outfits more for the second film.
okay.
So I'll
I
save
don't
it
really
then.
remember that. The one bit of trivia that I have here is kind of from where the Fantastic Beasts kind of thing came from, because the book Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is mentioned quite a lot throughout Harry Potter, and it's a school textbook they use for their classes basically. And Scamander isn't in any of the actual Harry Potter books, not directly. But in 2001, J.K. Rowling, who I don't know who that is, she's some person I think
Some transphobe, isn't she?
I think she's a fan of the books, but I don't
Right.
think she had anything to do with creating them. But she was somehow in charge of releasing a limited edition textbook to raise money for comic relief. And I actually had a copy of this, and it was quite a slim book, had a red cover, and it was made to look like a mini textbook. I think it had Harry Potter's name on the front as if it was his
Right.
copy. And it was just like a little encyclopedia, I think, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a narrative, but I think a lot of the creatures, like you say, are probably pulled from that.
Yeah, I think Christina had a similar book, and I
Yeah.
bought her a newer version a couple of years ago that was more after this film came, more detailed, bigger pictures
Yeah.
and stuff. And I think it's the whole. It takes it from the approach that it's written by Newt Scamander.
That's right, yeah. So, and we see in the film he's got a little notebook, and it's supposed to be the kind of early draft.
I've got a
of that.
similar book on the history of the Targaryens.
Yes,
which is
yeah.
written from a maester in Westeros.
Right. Okay.
Actually by George R. R. Martin. But yeah, I think it's quite cool when when they do stuff
It's
like that.
interesting. Like
When
an
you've kind of
in-world.
built up a universe like that is interesting, you want to know more. Yeah, it's fine. But overall, I was a little bit disappointed with watching this film back, and the fact that I know that I like this more than the second one. I'm really not.
I'm looking forward to it in terms of the stuff we'll have to say about it.
Yes,
but normally we look forward to the new release. Don't we,
yes.
Lewis?
So is it the Crimes of Grindelwald?
The Secrets of Dumbledore will be the new one. That's
next week we'll look at the Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yeah.
But for the Secrets of Dumbledore, are you more or less hyped for that after watching this? Proj yes or proj no?
I would say pretty damningly proj no, to be honest.
Same.
I'm not excited about the new one at all.
Like a few days ago, I thought I liked this film. I don't.
No.
So
you proj no as well?
Proj no as well. So that is the first of this series of the Silver Screen Project.
Yeah.
We'll be back next time looking at the Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts on Fantastic Beasts as we go through this little journey before the cinematic release.
This fantastic journey that we're going on.
Oh, your puns are so much better than mine. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.
I hope you enjoyed. Please let us know how you feel, and we'll see you next episode.
Goodbye.
Bye.